and she loved her kids. I mean,
Oh, we knew that.
yeah.
Yep. I think Lori wanted me to ask that. Oh, tell me about the day Mom, this is from Lori. Tell me about the day when Mom almost died when she hemorrhaged. Did you rush her to the hospital? If so, who watched us kids when that happened?
Mrs. Soa, I think. She got up from the bed and she was standing there and there was blood on the floor. And of course I wasn't there. I was at work.
Oh, you were at work.
And she told Dan, I think she told Dan to go get Miss Soa next door. And Mrs. Soa had influence over the doctor because they knew if she called, there's something wrong, and so she got a hold of Dr. Thompson and said, Dr. Peters was this kind of doctor to me.
Mm-hmm.
He
But who made the mistake? Was it Thompson or Peters?
Peters
Oh, okay.
didn't get all the
Yeah, placenta.
yeah.
Is this?
He wasn't
know
that
much.
good.
or
He
not
wasn't
that
that
He was a doctor. He was a very good.
iffy.
He was a personable person, but
Yeah.
his skills probably weren't what they should have been.
Well, he did the best he could.
Yeah.
I guess they say he owed money when he later on in life. He owed money. He didn't. A lot of people he didn't charge. You know.
Wow. So how did she get to the hospital? Not ambulance, right?
Wait a minute. I can remember. I can remember rushing her to the hospital once. It was at the time. They probably got me home and I drove like mad to the hospital. It must be that time.
Yeah.
It must have got me home.
Now, who was the guy that fell in the hedge out front? Was he just drunk, or did he have something wrong?
Fell in the hedge.
Yeah, on East Main Street. He just fell in the hedge. Yeah, it was a guy that used to walk back up and down the street there, and he just fell into the hedge. I thought he died.
Oh,
Yeah, he just fell right over where the hedge was.
where our hedge was.
Yeah, I remember it very distinctly. So I'm
I don't
surprised you
remember.
don't. Yeah. So I didn't know whether he was drunk or whether he'd had a heart attack or whatever. But I can remember that happening.
Huh.
So, Mike, this is one of the questions I've said to Emma. It's usually the little things that become the big things. What are some of the small things that you did together that are now the most memorable to you?
That I did today.
That you did today? No, I'm saying the things you did at the time that were relatively small, but when you get to the end of your life, you look back and say, that was a big deal. And like Emma and I, we'd go out and walk. And I said, if something happens later in life, I'm going to remember how nice it was to walk. And so you and Mom used to sing in the car. That was a small thing at the time,
Yeah.
but it was kind of a big deal to us kids to hear you and Mom sing in the car.
Huh.
And something like the old shanty town, and
Yeah.
and you'd harmonize, and that's good stuff. So like I say, what are the little things that you did that ended up becoming the big things?
Boy.
Yeah, not an easy question, but you know what I'm talking about? You know? Like I said, that guy that died, and he said, describe a perfect day, and he says, I'd get up and, go out for a walk, and I'd come back and we'd have breakfast, and I'd sit on the swing, and he said, no, that's just an ordinary day. And he says, yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. That's special, those days.
Yeah, I like our tea.
Yeah.
Tea with tea.
So if you could go back to a time and say, boy, I really wish we could do that again, whatever that is.
Oh,
And I remember something that Bill Baumbach wrote that was one of the best pieces I ever read. He said he said me and Irma got in a roller coaster thing, and we went up the hills and down the hills, and the air was blowing through our thing, and we got back to the station and said, "Oh, that was so great. We want to do it again." And he says, the ride is over. And he looked over, and Irma was gone.
oh my God.
So he was talking about life, the ups and downs. He said, "Oh, I wish we could do it again." And he looked over, and it was done. So, but Bill wrote that about Irma, and that was really, really powerful. Let me see. What's your best memory, Mom? What really sticks out? Now think about that for a second. What did you and Mom disagree about most? There's something in life that you
Yes.
disagree about?
Her being late.
Okay. Yeah, right. I remember that.
Yeah.
You'd go to church without her sometimes if she was
Well,
late.
I didn't, but I
Wanted to.
wanted to and threatened to.
I think you did at one time. I
Maybe I
do.
did, but
And I know the maddest that I've ever seen you be at Mom. Do you remember that? We never saw you ever speak a cross word to Mom, but one time, and all of us remember it. You had Bell's palsy,
yeah.
and you went to drink something, and it kind of just rolled out of your
Yeah.
mouth, and Mom started to laugh, and you threw it down. You said, "It's not funny." So because you were so,
Yeah.
troubled by
Oh.
your situation, but you were mad, and it wasn't so much of her. I think it was just your frustration of
Yeah, I think
being in the
Look
situation.
how I look.
He was, completely on one side of his face was
I've seen
completely
that.
numb. Yeah.
you know,
Some people never get over it either.
John too,
Yeah.
and someone here in town had it, and it took a long time for him to get over it. But I went to a doctor right away that shot little like sparks, like to keep the muscles going,
Mm-hmm.
and he got me over that pretty quick.
Mm. Oh, good. Boy. What about what about Mom makes you smile?
Oh, the thing that makes her smile.
Yeah. Or
is,
either.
is when a person falls, she would laugh every time. Just belly laugh. And I fell out here in the
And the fat or the funnier.
and she it ain't funny. Oh, anybody that falls, she would just couldn't help but laugh. Because especially if like a model walks along, so proper,
Yeah.
and trips over
Yeah.
something. You don't look so hot now.
What did you love doing with Mom that you didn't do enough? I kind of got an answer for that.
I'll bet you do.
Yeah. No, and I'm not going there.
No.
No. But I'll bet you it was dancing. She probably liked to dance. And you did a lot of dancing
Yeah,
together.
better than I did. She
Yeah.
says, let's dance. And but I did it.
What do you think helped you move on from her death? What helped you most? I think I'm asking this from a personal level too. You got to face it. What helps you to maybe just time? I don't know. Or being around people, or there's got to
Well,
be
yeah,
something
that helped with the church.
Yeah.
The church and the Y, and I didn't sit around the house